Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Watchtower Examination. I'm glad that you've joined me. I'm going to be playing for you a clip from the Australian Parliament with a very important apology that was made from the government. If you have not seen it, it is a must-see. And if you've already seen it because it has been played a few times over, if you have already seen it, may I ask you to watch it again because it's going to have an important bearing on what I will be presenting in this video.
Today, Australia confronts a trauma, an abomination, hiding in plain sight for far too long. Today, we confront a question too horrible to ask, let alone answer. Why weren't the children of our nation loved, nurtured and protected? Why was their trust betrayed? Why did those who know cover it up? Why were the cries of children and parents ignored? Why was our system of justice blind to injustice? Why has it taken so long to act? Why were other things more important than this, the care of innocent children? Why didn't we believe? Today we dare to ask these questions and finally acknowledge and confront the lost screams of our children. Mr. Speaker, today as a nation we confront our failure to listen, to believe and to provide justice. And again today we say sorry. To the children we failed, sorry. To the parents whose trust was betrayed and who have struggled to pick up the pieces, sorry. To the whistleblowers who we did not listen to, sorry. To the spouses, partners, wives, husbands, children who have dealt with the consequences of the abuse, cover-ups and obstruction, sorry. To generations past and present, sorry.
That spoke to me, and I'm sure it has spoken to many across Australia and indeed across the world, because this has caught the attention of the world, certainly the XJW community internationally. These words are profound. Today, as a nation, we confront our failure to listen, to believe, and to provide justice. That basically summarizes the Watchtowers' failure. They failed to listen to victims. They failed to believe the victims, and they failed to provide justice. In fact, they added insult to injury on the victims. Australia, the Australian government, through its Prime Minister, has said, for that we say sorry. Has the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses yet said sorry? To the many persons who fell victim to abuse, has the organization said sorry? Have they said sorry for the times they did not listen? Have they said sorry for the times they encouraged persons to place their trust in elders who betrayed their trust? What is it that the Prime Minister of Australia knows that the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses do not know? And it has been reported that the Prime Minister did not just make that apology of his own volition, but the Australian Royal Commission recommended that apology. But the Prime Minister could have said, I will not apologize. No, he chose to go along with the recommendation from the Commission. The Commission has also made a recommendation to the institutions involved, including the Watchtower organization. That said organization is now suing. It has taken to court a recording company for the use of a song. But the said organization that will sue for the use of a song will reject the idea of being sued for crimes against children. But the interesting thing about it is that this is what is ironic, is that what Australia is saying to the Jehovah's Witnesses, instead of going through litigation after litigation in court that will cost you significantly more, we have put together a scheme that not only you, but so many other institutions will contribute toward for the benefit of the victims. The Watchtower organization has said no. I mentioned the lawsuit that the organization has filed against the recording company. On account of something, one of the reasons given by the organization for filing the lawsuit is that what was done with someone recording the song, it has caused a poor reflection on the organization. A poor reflection on the organization. Is the governing body sincerely concerned about a poor reflection on the organization? I give you the Australian Parliament once again. Some of you, as I said, would have seen this clip before. For those who have not seen it, please have a look.
Thank you, President. My question is for the Attorney-General. Prior to the 30 June deadline for organisations to sign up to the National Redress Scheme, the Attorney-General said, and I quote, "It's just not acceptable that institutions don't sign up. We will be making it a condition of contracts with the Victorian Government that institutions that have got a liability when it comes to institutional sexual abuse join the redress scheme." Ms Hennessy said funding was in jeopardy, including grants and funding to deliver social or other services. To date, the Jehovah's Witnesses organisations, which have over 1,800 accusations of sexual abuse against it, have not signed up to the scheme. Has the Victorian Government stopped all funding to Jehovah's Witnesses related organisations, and if not, why not?
Minister Tini.
Thank you, President. I thank Ms Patton for her question and her ongoing interest and commitment to this area. I will refer the matter to the Attorney-General in relation to the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Ms Patton on a supplementary.
Thank you, President. Thank you, Minister. And as way of supplementary, as I've previously brought this to the attention of the House over the last few months and years, the Jehovah's Witnesses organisations have gone to great lengths to sell assets, restructure their business and charitable activities, consolidate their property portfolio and send vast amounts of cash overseas, all in an effort to reduce their exposure to claims against them of sexual abuse. There are now 155 registered Jehovah's Witness organisations in Victoria. Will the government now strip them of the tax benefits they receive?
Minister Tini.
Thank you, President. And again, I thank Ms Patton for her question. And consistent with my referral of the substantive, the supplementary will also be referred to the Attorney-General.
Thank you.
The Watchtower organisation was given a previous deadline to join the redress scheme. They have not. I saw a recent video that reported that they have until the end of this year to join the scheme. I did some research online to try to get the latest information about that because I wanted to confirm for myself if they actually had that window of opportunity to comply with the recommendation from the Commission. So I did search, but unfortunately, the latest information I could have found was something that was posted late November. I'll give you a transcript of a radio program, at least a section of it, which makes for interesting reading. This is from another Australian politician, Senator the Honourable Anne Ruston. She's providing the transcript from a radio program, an interview with Sabra Lane. Under the caption, "New sanctions for failure to join the National Redress Scheme." The minister is being interviewed by Sabra Lane, who starts off, "There are developments this morning towards making sure religious and community institutions are made to pay compensation to victims of child sexual abuse. The federal government's moving to give the Australian Charities and Non-for-Profits Commission the power to deregister a charity if it fails to join the scheme. It argues by not signing up, they're just doubling down on the crime and hurt. The Social Services Minister, Anne Ruston, is overseeing the scheme. Minister, thanks for joining AM. You want Parliament to approve giving the Charities Commission the power to strip the charity status of those institutions still refusing to sign up. How many institutions will this affect? And how many victims are still waiting for an apology and compensation? The minister responds, Well, it will immediately affect one of the 4 institutions that was named back in July as refusing to join. But there is about 80 institutions that we are hoping will join by the 31st of December this year. And of those 80 institutions, about half of them currently have charitable status. Sabra Lane, okay, that one institution you're referring to there is the Jehovah's Witness organization. It is charitable? Why is it behaving in a recalcitrant manner? It is a religious group. Is it behaving in a Christian way? Minister Ruston, well, certainly, we've been extremely disappointed in the behavior of the Jehovah's Witnesses. I mean, we have spent a lot of time trying to explain to them what we think is their moral obligation to participate in the scheme, but they have to date declined to do so. So I'm very hopeful that anybody from the Jehovah's Witnesses that are listening to our show this morning, Sabra, that they might actually reconsider, because there's some pretty significant implications for them of losing their charitable status. Why, oh why, is the governing body being so stubborn on this? Ladies and gentlemen, the minister is being interviewed on a radio program. She mentions 4 institutions. Then she mentions another list of 80. But the host asked her that one institution that you're talking about. She has singled out the Jehovah's Witnesses. Out of a possible 84 institutions, the host picked up on the Jehovah's Witness organization. And why? Because their case is peculiar. This is a religious organization. This is a Christian organization. Why are they behaving like that? Is the Watchtower organization sincerely concerned about a poor reflection on the organization while they are suing over a song?
When people become eyewitnesses of our fine conduct, it brings glory to Jehovah.
How much are they concerned that they are being named and shamed in Parliament? They are being named and shamed. The video we saw in Parliament, the second video, not the one of the Prime Minister, the Senator posted it on her Twitter page. It was a tweet that she posted the video in that I got. Now you have a radio program. So first in Parliament that Australians can view. Then it is blasted on Twitter. Then it is on a radio program. Is the Watchtower concerned about the negative feedback, the negative outlook that is being given to the institution, to the organization?
When people become eyewitnesses of our fine conduct, it brings glory to Jehovah.
Since the COVID pandemic hit, the governing body has been doing a series of updates to Jehovah's Witnesses. Update number 4 was posted sometime in June. I do not have the exact date because when you go back to the website, it doesn't indicate when the updates were posted. But I did a video on update number 4 shortly after it was released, if not the same date. I posted the video on June 26. Anthony Morris speaking about cooperating with secular authorities. At the time when Morris used these words, he was fully aware that the organization was not cooperating with the recommendation from the Australian Royal Commission and from the Australian government that they join the redress scheme. He was aware that they were asked to do it and that they refused to do it.
Last year, the Prime Minister directly addressed the institutions who had not joined the National Redress Scheme.
All they're doing in not joining this is doubling down on the crimes and doubling down on the hurt. And so to them I say, who have not joined, join. Do the decent thing. Do the right thing. Do the honourable thing.
But this latest news will come as a shock to the Prime Minister and abuse survivors. In response to our inquiries, the Jehovah's Witnesses Australasia gave the project this statement. The religion of Jehovah's Witnesses does not have the institutional settings that the Voluntary National Redress Scheme is designed to cover. Therefore, the Ministry for Families and Social Services has been advised that Jehovah's Witnesses will not join the scheme.
We must listen to the governmental superior authorities who are permitted by Jehovah to care for certain functions.
And so to them I say, who have not joined, join.
The importance of listening to these authorities is emphasized in verse 2, where it says, whoever opposes the authority, or according to the footnote, whoever resists the authority, has taken a stand against the arrangement of God.
All they're doing in not joining this is doubling down on the crimes and doubling down on the hurt.
We know that these authorities exist by God's permission, and it's His will that Christians be subject to them as long as what they require doesn't conflict with His law.
Join.
News reports are filled with stories of people ignoring the direction from the authorities or even protesting against it. But rebelling against secular authorities constitutes a rebellion against God.
Do the decent thing. Do the right thing. Do the honourable thing.
We love Jehovah, so we respect the authorities.
All they're doing in not joining this is doubling down on the crimes and doubling down on the hurt.
We also listen to the authorities because we love our neighbors.
The hypocrisy is unbelievable. It is amazing. It is extraordinary hypocrisy. But it is not only unbelievable, it is actually, to a certain extent, incomprehensible. How do you understand, how do you rationalize Anthony Morris doing that? He knows that the XJW community is on him like a hawk, on him and on the governing body, that they are being exposed. He is angry about it.
The apostates and the enemies of Jehovah and all these despicable enemies, especially these despicable apostates.
So the Australian government is exposing it. The parliamentarians and senators are further exposing it in other media, not just social media like Twitter, but also on at least one radio program that we've seen the transcript for. The XJW community is exposing it. Why then would Anthony Morris allow himself to be caught in such glaring hypocrisy? The answer is given by another member of the governing body.
Since Jehovah God and Jesus Christ completely trust the faithful and discreet slave, should we not do the same? You fully trust in Jehovah, Jesus, and the faithful slave.
Our complete trust in the governing body.
It's my brother's fault. It is, what did he call himself? Examine for yourselves fault. It is the fault of Darrow.
My name is Darrell Wildberg, and this video is not approved by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania. It's not approved by the 8 wonderful, dear, self-sacrificing, loving brothers there at Warwick, New York, who act as the governing body. Today, I'm going to defend Anthony Morris III, my dear brother, and I love that brother. He's sharp.
It is the fault of the Jehovah's Witnesses in my community who get into a fit when you criticize the governing body. It is the fault of the rank and file Jehovah's Witnesses who will not listen when people speak about the hypocrisy of the governing body. Anthony Morris must have made a calculation that yes, people will expose us, but at least maybe he calculates that maybe 6 million out of the 8.4 million Jehovah's Witnesses will not care. Because it will be hard to get my brother to watch this. Because he is going to dismiss me that I'm only finding fault with the organization. That's all I am about. I have a friend in Mandeville who I cannot share this with because she will not listen to anything that I have to say because I have been blocked by her. They are the Jehovah's Witnesses that you are speaking with who will not care.
exposing ourselves to this kind of misinformation can create doubts and undermine our complete trust in the governing body. This makes us vulnerable.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the saddest part. For as long as they do not care, for as long as they will not listen, their children are vulnerable.
This makes us vulnerable.
And that is the worst part. It is bad enough that they will have to face the consequences for their stiff-neckedness, but that their children should be victims of what they refuse to do is nothing short of a tragedy. Anthony Morris knows that what he is doing is wrong. Anthony Morris, not me, defines it as, let me not say it. Anthony Morris, not me, defines the refusal of the governing body to cooperate with the Australian government as a rebellion against God.
Whoever resists the authority has taken a stand against the arrangement of God.
Because Morris and the governing body knows that it is God himself who sets up secular governments.
We know that these authorities exist by God's permission, and it's his will that Christians be subject to them as long as what they require doesn't conflict with his law. But rebelling against secular authorities constitutes a rebellion against God.
They know it, and they know that to refuse to cooperate with these governments, these authorities, constitute a rebellion against God. At the very time when Morris is making that statement, Morris is rebelling against God by his definition. Is there any possible hint that these men do not know what they are doing? Hello, Winston here, just telling you thanks for tuning in for this video and encouraging you to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit the bell so that you will be notified when new content is uploaded. There is more to clicking the like button than just suggesting you enjoyed the video. The more likes that a video gets, the more YouTube shows it to non-subscribers. And the more that happens, the more Jehovah's Witnesses are reached. The videos have proven to help Jehovah's Witnesses, so that one little act can go a far way. So go ahead, click that like button. It helps. Love you all.
May the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.